Marcus Reynolds stood at the viewing port of the shuttle, watching as the massive Galactic Council station grew larger against the backdrop of Proxima Centauri. The red dwarf star cast an eerie glow on the giant structure that looked like a metal flower floating in space. "Ambassador, we will dock in 5 minutes," said the pilot. Marcus nodded but didn't turn around. His dark blue suit was perfectly tailored, hiding the neural interface ports along his spine. To anyone looking at him, he appeared to be nothing more than a well-dressed human diplomat. They couldn't see the military-grade enhancements beneath. His skin or the combat computer wired into his brain. First human to ever set foot on the council station, Marcus thought to himself. And they have no idea what they've invited aboard. The shuttle docked with a soft bump. Marcus gathered his simple black case, containing both diplomatic papers and encrypted Earth defense codes, and moved toward the airlock. His enhanced senses already picking up details beyond normal human range, the slight change in air pressure, the faint electrical hum of surveillance systems, the subtle vibrations in the floor that told him how many beings waited on the other side. The doors slid open to reveal a welcome party of 5 aliens. The leader, a tall blue-skinned being with 4 arms, stepped forward. "Ambassador Reynolds of Earth, I am High Secretary Vazix. The Council welcomes you to its chambers." The slight pause didn't escape Marcus's notice. "Thank you, High Secretary. Earth is honored to finally join the galactic community." Marcus smiled with just the right amount of humility and gratitude, expressions he had practiced for months. As they walked through the station's grand hallways, Marcus cataloged everything. His eyes, enhanced with microscopic cameras, recorded the station's layout. His enhanced hearing caught whispered conversations among the alien staff they passed. Primitive species. Barely achieved FTL. A waste of a council seat. Marcus pretended not to hear. Let them think humans were deaf to their whispers. Let them think humans were weak. When they reached the diplomatic quarters assigned to Earth, Vazix gestured with his lower set of arms. "These will be your chambers. The council session begins tomorrow at Station Cycle 42. An aide will come to escort you." "I look forward to it," Marcus said, bowing slightly. Once alone, Marcus activated his security protocols. Microscopic drones, no larger than dust particles, deployed from his case scanning for listening devices. He found 12, exactly as expected. Marcus opened a secure channel to Earth using quantum encryption. General Harris's face appeared, on his personal screen. "Status, Commander Reynolds." "I'm in, General." "They see exactly what we want them to see, a simple diplomat from a primitive world." "Good. Remember your mission, Reynolds. We need to know if the Council is a threat to Earth." "And if they are?" Marcus asked, though he already knew the answer. The General's face hardened. "Then you show them exactly why humanity survived all. Those extinction events on Earth. You show them why we're still here." Marcus nodded and ended the transmission. Tomorrow he would smile, bow, and play the grateful newcomer to galactic politics. But beneath the diplomat's suit lurked something the Galactic Council couldn't begin to understand, a predator they had foolishly invited into their midst. 3. Weeks had passed since Marcus's arrival at the council station. Each day, the mask of the humble diplomat grew heavier. The council members barely hid their contempt for humans. In meetings, they spoke over him. During votes, they ignored Earth's concerns. Today was no different. Marcus sat at the far end of the massive round table in the lower council chamber. The room buzzed with 24 different species discussing trade routes. No one looked at the human representative. "The motion passes," announced Vazix from his elevated podium. "Earth's request for access to the Orion trade corridor is denied." Marcus kept his face neutral, even as his enhanced hearing picked up chuckles from several delegates. He made notes on his tablet, while secretly recording everything through his ocular implants. As the session ended, most delegates hurried past him without acknowledgement. Only one stopped, a tall reptilian being with emerald scales and yellow eyes. "Ambassador Reynolds, I am Kivax of the Draconis Alliance," the alien said in a low voice. Perhaps we could speak privately? Marcus nodded, his neural implants already analyzing Kivax's body language, heart rate, and pheromone releases. The readings suggested genuine concern, not deception. Later, in a quiet corner of the station's garden dome, Kivax spoke more freely. People joined the council 80 years ago. We face the same treatment you now endure, the reptilian said, looking around to ensure they weren't overheard. But what they are planning for Earth is worse than mere disrespect. Marcus leaned forward. What do you mean? There are conversations happening in the high chamber. Earth is seen as more than just primitive. They see it as dangerous. Too rich, in resources too strategically located. Kivax's voice dropped even lower. Some believe Earth would be better under proper management. Marcus's combat systems automatically increased his adrenaline levels, but his face revealed nothing. Invasion? They call it stewardship. But yes, essentially. Kivax handed him a small data crystal. This contains meeting records from the inner circle. Be careful, Ambassador. If they discover I shared this, they won't, Marcus assured him. Thank you for the risk you're taking. That night, Marcus analyzed the data in his secure quarters. The crystal contained recorded meetings between the 7 most powerful council species. They spoke openly about Earth's future. The humans multiply. Too quickly, said one floating jellyfish-like being. Their technology advances at an alarming rate, added another. We should act now while they're still manageable, concluded a third. Marcus encrypted and transmitted the files to Earth immediately. General Harris's response came within hours. Prepare contingency protocols. Fleet positioning begins tomorrow. 2 days later, Marcus found Kivax's quarters sealed by council security. The official announcement claimed the reptilian diplomat had suffered an unfortunate accident during station maintenance. That evening, alone in his quarters, Marcus opened his special case and removed a small device. He activated it, summoning a hidden weapons cache built into the walls of his diplomatic suite. Weapons smuggled in piece by piece over the past weeks. As he assembled a high-powered rifle, Marcus finally allowed himself to feel the cold anger he'd been suppressing. The diplomat was fading. Death was emerging from its suit. Marcus received the invitation on his official diplomatic channel. The message came from Council Elder Grostak, inviting him to a ceremonial welcoming in the station's outer ring, a ritual supposedly delayed due to scheduling issues. Marcus knew it was a trap. The timing was too convenient, coming just days after Kivax's death. He accepted anyway. The next morning, Marcus boarded a small transport shuttle for the 30-minute journey to the outer ring. He wore his usual diplomat suit, but underneath, his body was prepared. He had activated all combat implants and taken military stimulants that enhanced his reflexes and strength. Halfway through the journey, the shuttle suddenly stopped. Minor technical problem, Ambassador, the pilot called back. Just a moment, Marcus counted silently. 3, 2, 1. The shuttle lights went out. Emergency lights flickered on, bathing everything in red. The pilot's voice came again, this time in a panicked tone that was too rehearsed. Ambassador, we have intruders. Hide yourself. A loud bang came from the outer airlock. Marcus stood calmly and moved to the center of the cabin. In his earpiece, he heard General Harris speaking. From Earth. Sensors show 5 hostiles boarding. Vrax hegemony biosignatures. Heavy weapons. Understood, Marcus whispered. The inner airlock door exploded inward. Through the smoke stepped 5 aliens, tall, gray-skinned Vrax warriors in battle armor. Their leader pointed a plasma rifle directly at Marcus's chest. Human, the alien snarled. Your presence offends the natural order. The Council has decided Earth requires correction. Marcus smiled. Did they tell you what I really am? The Vrax leader laughed. We know everything about humans, slow, weak, fragile. You should have studied harder, Marcus said quietly. His neural implants activated. Time seemed to slow as his perception accelerated. The aliens now appeared to move in slow motion. Marcus's muscles, enhanced with carbon fiber and artificial tendons, responded instantly, Before the first Vrax could fire, Marcus crossed the distance between them, moving faster than their eyes could track. He struck the leader's throat with a precise blow, crushing its windpipe. As the alien fell, Marcus took its weapon. The other 4 Vrax reacted with shock. They had been told humans were primitive, easy targets. They fired wildly, but Marcus was already moving. He dodged their shots with inhuman speed, then returned fire, taking down 2 more attackers with perfect headshots. The 4th Vrax tried to call for backup. Marcus threw a hidden blade from his sleeve, severing the alien's communication device and the tentacle holding it. The last Vrax dropped its weapon and backed away. "What are you?" it gasped. "A message," Marcus replied. He moved closer, his eyes now glowing faintly from activated targeting systems. "Tell your council that they've made a mistake. Tell them that when they attacked Earth's diplomat, they didn't realize what they were facing." Marcus let the final Vrax live, deliberately. As the alien fled back through the airlock, Marcus contacted Earth. "Ambush confirmed, General. 4 eliminated. 1 messenger released." "Good," Harris replied. "The fleet is in position. Phase 2 begins now." Marcus looked down at his torn suit, now splattered with alien blood. The diplomat's disguise was damaged beyond repair. It was time to show the council exactly who they had tried to kill. The Grand Council chamber was filled with murmurs and tense whispers. All 200 species had representatives present, an unusual occurrence. At the center of the chamber stood Marcus, his suit now replaced with a fresh one, showing no signs of yesterday's violence. High Chancellor Zorix, a tall being with crystalline skin, addressed the assembly. "A most unfortunate incident has occurred. Ambassador Reynolds was attacked by rogue elements. The Council deeply regrets this breach of diplomatic protocol." Marcus noted how carefully the Chancellor avoided mentioning who these rogue elements were. The surviving Vrax had clearly delivered his message. "The Council extends its formal apology," Zorix continued, "and guarantees your safety henceforth." Marcus stepped forward. His enhanced hearing caught the subtle shift in the room's atmosphere. A mixture of fear and curiosity. "Good. Let them wonder." "Earth accepts your apology," Marcus said, his voice calm but carrying throughout the chamber. "Such misunderstandings are inevitable as we learn to work together." Several delegates shifted uncomfortably at his use of the word misunderstandings. The Vrax representative was noticeably absent. After the session, Marcus found himself approached by more delegates than ever before. Some offered seemingly genuine sympathy. Others watched him with new caution in their eyes. The news had spread. The human was not as harmless as they had believed. "Ambassador Reynolds," called a deep voice. Marcus turned to face the Council's security director, a massive 4-armed Juraxian named Dorn. Standing nearly 8 feet tall with armored skin, Dorn was an imposing figure. "I wish to personally apologize for the security failure," Dorn rumbled, "and to ask how a simple, human diplomat managed to neutralize 4 Vrax warriors." Marcus smiled. "Perhaps the Vrax reports were exaggerated." "I reviewed the shuttle's security footage myself," Dorn said, leaning closer. "Nothing was exaggerated." "Then perhaps," Marcus replied, "the Council should reconsider what they think they know about humans." That evening, Marcus received a private message from General Harris. "Reclamation directive confirmed, timetable accelerated, estimated 14 days until launch." Marcus encrypted the data Kivax had provided and examined the Council's classified files. The reclamation directive was worse than they had feared. A comprehensive plan to invade Earth, strip its resources, and reduce humans to a controlled labor force. The document listed Earth's dangerous unpredictability as justification. A knock at his door interrupted his work. Marcus quickly closed the files and answered. A small, insect-like being stood there, an aide to the Council's inner circle. "Ambassador Reynolds, the High Chancellor requests your presence at tomorrow's Inner Circle meeting. This is unprecedented for a new species." "I'm honored," Marcus replied. After the aide left, Marcus contacted Earth again. "I've been invited to the Inner Circle. It's either a genuine diplomatic opening or..." Or they're gathering intelligence before they move against us, General Harris finished. The fleet is 3 days from completion. Keep them talking, Commander. Marcus looked out his window at the vast expanse of space. Somewhere out there, Earth's secret armada was assembling, ships more advanced than anything the Council had seen, hidden from galactic detection for years. The Council thought they were dealing with a primitive species. They would soon learn how wrong they were. Marcus entered a small, dimly lit room in the station's lower levels. Inside waited representatives from 7 species, all from worlds considered minor powers by the Council. "Thank you for coming," Marcus said, looking at each alien face. "You all know why we're here." A blue-skinned female with feathered hair spoke first. "The Tyranni people have suffered under Council guidance for 3 generations. If what you say about their plans for Earth is true—" "It is," said another alien, a squat, rocky-skinned being. "My people, the Kraz, have seen the same pattern. First trade restrictions, then resource demands, then military occupation." Marcus nodded. "This is why I've called you together. Alone, none of our worlds can stand against the Council, but together." "You propose an alliance?" asked the Tyranni. "I propose survival," Marcus replied. "The Outer Rim Coalition." Over the next hour they discussed terms. Earth would provide advanced technology. The Tyranni offered star maps of secret Council military bases. The Kraz knew of abandoned hyperspace routes not on official charts. As they finished, Marcus's communicator buzzed. It was his assistant Ilara, the only other human on the station. "Ambassador," her voice sounded strained. "I found the files you requested, but there are security forces heading to my location. I think the transmission cut off." Marcus turned to his new allies. "Meeting adjourned. I have a situation." Marcus moved quickly through the station's corridors, his implants guiding him to Ilara's last known location. Security cameras showed her being dragged into a private shuttle. The destination, Prelate Zor's tower. Zor was among the oldest Council members, a being rumored to be thousands of years old. His private quarters occupied an entire tower extending from the main station. Marcus knew a direct approach would be suicide. Instead, he found an access point to the station's maintenance tunnels. His enhanced vision switched to infrared as he navigated the dark passages. 3 hours later, he emerged through a ventilation shaft into Zor's private laboratory. The sight that greeted him confirmed their worst fears. Massive tanks lined the walls, each containing samples of Earth's ecosystem, plants, insects, soil. On screens above them, simulations showed these systems collapsing under the influence of engineered pathogens. Marcus found Ilara locked in a cell nearby. She looked up as he approached. "They know," she whispered. "They found me accessing their bioweapon files. They're planning to release something on Earth that will destroy our entire ecosystem." "Not if we stop them first," Marcus said, breaking her restraints. "But we're leaving evidence behind." Marcus planted small devices throughout the laboratory, quantum recorders that would broadcast what they'd seen to every world in the galaxy. As they prepared to leave, a door slid open. Prelate Zor floated into the room. The ancient alien resembled a pale octopus suspended in a hovering water tank. "Human," Zor's voice echoed telepathically. "How disappointing. We had such hopes for your species as our new workforce." Marcus stepped between Zor and Ilara. "You should have done more research on what happens when you corner humans." Zor's tank glowed with energy. "You think yourself dangerous? I was destroying worlds before your ancestors climbed down from trees." Marcus smiled coldly. "Then you should recognize a predator when you see one." The diplomat's hand moved toward his hidden weapon. The time for talking was over. The inner circle of the Galactic Council met in their sacred chamber. 7 beings, each representing one of the oldest species in the galaxy, gathered around an ancient table. Their discussion had one topic: Earth. "The human must be eliminated," said Prelate Zor, his tank showing damage from his encounter with Marcus. "And their world must be dealt with immediately." High Chancellor Zorix nodded. "The human survived our Vrax assassins. He infiltrated Zor's private laboratory. He has formed alliances with lesser worlds." Earth has proven itself not just primitive, but dangerously unpredictable. Then we are decided, said a shadowy figure at the far end of the table. Dispatch, the Void Hunters. No more diplomatic pretense. Marcus and Alara had escaped Zor's tower and returned to the human embassy. Their quarters were now under heavy surveillance. Guards posted at every entrance, monitoring devices scanning for any movement. They'll come for us tonight, Marcus said, checking his weapons. The Void Hunters. Ilara's eyes widened. The Council's elite assassins? I thought they were just stories to frighten diplomats. They're real. And they never fail. Marcus activated, his neural implants feeling the familiar surge of combat chemicals flooding his system, but they've never hunted a human like me before. A soft alert from his sensors interrupted them. Marcus moved to the window just in time to see distant flashes of light at the edge of the system. They've started, he said grimly. Those are attacks on our outer colonies. Ilara checked her own communications device. Earth fleet reports Council warships emerging from hyperspace at 3 different locations. It's begun. Marcus nodded. Then we play our part here. When darkness fell across the station's cycle, they came. 6 shadow-like figures that seemed to pass through walls. The legendary Void Hunters, beings genetically engineered for one purpose, killing the Council's enemies. They moved silently toward the human quarters, weapons ready. Security feeds went dark. Power to the section was cut. The perfect assassination. The lead hunter gestured, and 3 of them entered Marcus's chambers, while 3 surrounded Ilara's adjacent room. They expected to find sleeping targets. Instead, they found hell. The room erupted in blinding light as Marcus activated all his combat systems at once. His neural processors ran at full capacity, slowing his perception of time to a crawl. The hunters, famous for their speed, now seemed to move through syrup. The first hunter fired a poisoned dart that Marcus caught in midair. The second swung an energy blade that passed through empty space as Marcus moved aside faster than their eyes could track. In the next room, Ilara, who had her own military training, had set traps that now engulfed the other hunters in paralyzing gas. Marcus struck with precision and terrible force. Enhanced muscles delivered blows that shattered alien exoskeletons. Military-grade implants gave him targeting information for each species' vital organs. Outside in the corridor, station security forces heard the commotion and rushed toward the human quarters. What they witnessed would become legendary throughout the galaxy. 1 human standing amid the broken bodies of 5 Void Hunters, the 6th pinned against a wall by Marcus's hand. Tell your council, Marcus said to the surviving hunter loud enough for all to hear, that Earth is not prey. We are predators they should have left alone. As alarms blared throughout the station, Marcus knew the final phase had begun. The time for secrets was over. Alarms echoed throughout the entire station. Security forces from all council species rushed through corridors. At the center of the chaos stood Marcus Reynolds, no longer pretending to be just a diplomat. We need to reach the central communications hub, Marcus told Alara as they moved swiftly through maintenance tunnels. Everything we've gathered must be broadcast to every world in the galaxy. Behind them, the sounds of pursuit grew louder. The Council had deployed everything they had to stop the humans. The hub is 5 levels up, Alara said, checking her handheld map. Heavily guarded even on normal days. Marcus nodded. Then we don't use the normal entrance. They reached an exterior maintenance hatch. Beyond it was open space, the vacuum between the station sections. Marcus retrieved 2 small devices from his hidden equipment. Emergency shields, he explained, handing one to Alara. Military grade. They'll give us 5 minutes of protection in vacuum. Alara looked uncertain. We're going outside? In space? They won't expect it. Moments later, they floated in the darkness of space, magnetic boots allowing them to walk on the station's outer hull. Above them, the massive structure of the Galactic Council station spread out like a metal city. Below, the red glow of Proxima Centauri cast long shadows. They reached the communications hub's exterior and cut through an access panel. Once inside, Marcus quickly disabled the 2 surprised technicians while Ilara sealed the doors. We have. Minutes at most, Marcus said, connecting his data storage to the main console. Start the broadcast. Alara's fingers flew across the alien controls. Broadcasting on all frequencies, to all worlds within range. Throughout the galaxy, on thousands of worlds, regular communications suddenly interrupted. Instead, beings of all species saw evidence of the Council's true nature, the secret plans for Earth's conquest, the bioweapons designed to destroy human ecosystems, records of previous civilizations wiped out when they resisted integration. In the communications hub, Marcus activated a special channel directly to Earth. General Harris, the evidence is broadcasting. Status of the fleet? Ready and waiting, Commander, Harris replied. Council forces have attacked 3 colony worlds. Our hidden defenses held. They've suffered heavy losses against technology they didn't know we had. Marcus nodded. Activate the final phase. Send the signal. As security forces finally broke through the barricaded door, Marcus turned to face them. Behind him, on the main screen, a message now played alongside the evidence. To all worlds under Council rule, for centuries humans have watched the stars, studying the Council's methods. We were never the primitive newcomers we pretended to be. We have survived extinction-level events on our homeworld that forged us into something unique. We have prepared for this day. Any Council world that wishes to join the new order may do so. Those who stand with the inner circle will face humanity at its full potential. Security Director Dorn himself led the forces that surrounded Marcus and Alara. The massive Jiraxian raised his weapon. You have committed crimes against the Council. Surrender now, Marcus smiled. Look outside, Director. On every viewport throughout the station, flashes of light appeared as hundreds of vessels emerged from hyperspace. The hidden human fleet, more advanced than anything the Council had seen before. Diplomat down, Marcus said into his communicator. They chose war. The Grand Council chamber was filled to capacity. Representatives from all member worlds gathered in an emergency session. At the center of the chamber, the 7 elder species sat in their elevated positions, faces showing varying degrees of fury and fear. The massive doors swung open. Marcus Reynolds walked in, no longer dressed in diplomatic attire. He wore a sleek, black combat suit that highlighted the glow of his activated implants. Behind him came not just Alara, but a dozen representatives from the Outer Rim Coalition worlds. This meeting is closed to non-council members, High Chancellor Zorix declared, his crystalline skin flashing with anger. I think you'll find the rules have changed, Marcus replied calmly. On every screen in the chamber, live feeds showed human warships surrounding the station. Similar scenes played out at council worlds across the galaxy. Prelate Zor's tank bubbled with rage. You dare threaten us? We ruled the stars before your species discovered fire, and that is precisely your weakness, Marcus said, addressing not just the elders but all representatives. You believe age grants superiority. You never asked why humans advanced so quickly, why we survived. Marcus activated a holographic display in the center of the chamber. It showed Earth's history, asteroids striking the planet, ice ages, plagues, nuclear standoffs. Humanity faced extinction dozens of times. Each crisis forced us to adapt, to become stronger. While other species evolved in comfort, we evolved under constant threat. Marcus looked directly at the 7 elders. We became predators out of necessity. A commotion at the entrance interrupted as Security Director Dorn entered, followed by guards. They surrounded Marcus but did not attack. The human speaks truth, Dorn announced, surprising everyone. I have reviewed the evidence they broadcast. The Council has systematically eliminated or enslaved any species that showed too much potential. Murmurs spread throughout the chamber as representatives from dozens of worlds began talking among themselves. Marcus continued. Earth was never ignorant of galactic politics. We've had faster-than-light capability for over a century, not the 30 years we claimed. We watched. We studied. We prepared. For what? Chancellor Zorix demanded. For 2 possibilities, Marcus replied. Either peaceful cooperation with the galactic community, or the need to protect ourselves from those who would destroy us. You chose the second option. On the screens, more human ships appeared. Not just warships, but massive colony vessels and terraforming platforms. The coalition of free worlds begins today, Marcus declared. Any world may join voluntarily. The age of council domination ends now. Zor floated forward. You think you can defeat beings who have lived for thousands of years? Marcus smiled coldly. That's your final mistake. You see, in all your millennia of existence, you forgot something crucial about younger species. He moved with enhanced speed, suddenly standing directly before the Elder's tank. We aren't afraid of death, we've lived with it since our beginning. The 7 elders looked at each other, then at the screen showing human ships with weapons aimed at the station. We will need time to consider these developments, Chancellor Zorik said finally. Marcus nodded. You have 1 hour. Then a new galactic order begins, with or without you. As Marcus turned to leave, many representatives rose to follow him. The council's power was already crumbling. The diplomat who arrived as a supposed primitive had revealed his true nature. Death in a suit, wearing humanity's face, protecting Earth with the ferocity only a species tempered by near extinction could possess. And the galaxy would never be the same.